Hey guys, Jen here with Chaos and Grace. It is Friday, November 1st, first Friday of a new month. So today I'm going to talk about my October wins and my fails and what my goals are for November. So let's go. All right, so I have notes. There's that much. I have notes. My fails in October, I actually only had really two things that just failed horribly. One, that morning board over there. It looks almost identical to last month when I showed it to you guys. I am about to give up on this morning board. I really like the idea of it. I think that there's great potential in it, but I don't know. Maybe I just haven't seen the vision yet in my head of what I'm going to do with it, what works. I don't know. As of right now, it's just gonna sit on the wall and take up space. The only thing we use on there is the weather, the daily weather that Evie does, and the character trait, because we study new character traits every month, and we work on that one character trait throughout the month. So those two things are on there, and we use those. Everything else on there, it's not working. Maybe I'm just not utilizing it right. In fact, I'm positive I'm not utilizing it right. I just don't know how yet. I'm waiting for the answer to come to me, I guess. I don't know, but I'm counting that as a fail. The other fail for October was this whole schedule thing. I wanted to give my kids, I have a couple kids that just, I feel like are craving more of a structured schedule. And that is so hard for me to do. Now, if you missed that video, I'll pop a link up here for you guys to see that one so you kind of know what I'm talking about here. But the idea of structure versus routine, there's so many videos out there on it, but I view structure as more of a 8 o'clock you're doing this, 9 o'clock you're doing this, and it's just like boom, 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 you know what's happening throughout your day, all day, every day. And I don't do well with that. I'm more of a routine person where we do the same things every day and we just kind of have a natural flow every day, but it's not as rigid, I guess. I don't like that word because it makes it sound like super strict. So I am definitely more of a routine type person and less of an hour by hour, minute by minute kind of person. Too many things can happen in our home for me to be able to do that, and just naturally, I am a more spontaneous person and I just want to get up and go when things come up. We have also been very busy, both just with appointments, co-op, church, and homestead stuff. We've had a lot of things going on in the homestead department, and we've been very busy with those, and we're learning a lot through that. It's a big part of what we like to incorporate with our homeschooling, but we've been really busy with stuff, and hunting season has started too. Can you hear that? In our force. Still lots of great things, but that definitely doesn't help when you're trying to get more of a schedule happening. October wins. Praise the Lord, I am doing read aloud time. Okay, not really. Yes, I am doing read aloud time. I am consistently doing 2-day a week read aloud time. For those that are good, consistent read aloud families, that may seem a little ridiculous. That may seem like nothing, but that is a win, and that is a big victory in this house. It's wonderful. The whole doing it at lunch thing is working beautifully. We're reading the first book in Narnia, which is The Magician's Nephew. I love it. The kids love it. They're really into it, seeing what happens next, and I always stop as a cliffhanger. Even if it's not at the end of each chapter, I leave them hanging because then they're ready for it the next day. So, Mom's getting a little tricky. They are also eating a better lunch because they want to be quiet and listen to the story and figure out what's going to happen next. And the only thing they have to do is eat their food in front of their face. That's all there is to do. So they sit down, they eat their food, they eat all their food, and they listen to the story. And it's awesome because that's less food that I'm eating. Do you guys do that? Do you eat your kids' leftovers? I do it all the time. It might be why it's so hard for me to lose weight. The other thing I'm doing right before this read aloud time, right before lunch, is I'm giving them their free time so that I can make lunch, but that free time is physical activity. I'm usually kicking them out of the house. Not like I gotta kick them out because they wanna run out there, they wanna be out there all the time. But they go outside, get physical activity in. Don't let them sit down and just watch TV. I get them out. And they have that little physical break. get that energy out, especially for my sensory kiddos, my sensory seekers. They need that. So after they get that, they can come inside, eat a meal, hear a story, and sit and not have to move nearly as much. For that, let me show you. We also have these. These are wiggle cushions. You can change the amount of air in there, and then there's different, this thing is filthy. We use it all the time, and it's got paint and dust and cat hair and possibly food on it. I don't know. I should probably wash these better. But yeah, one that's not as textured, one that's heavily textured, and they sit on these, and they can move around without being super distracting to my other kids. It doesn't make a whole lot of noise, and doesn't make any noise, and the chairs don't move around. Other October win is kind of what I mentioned already. My reasoning for not being a good schedule person is that we're doing a lot of homestead learning. We have been learning more about our rabbits because we are going to be doing more with them. We are thinking, trying to convince, toying with, nudging towards, however you want to view this, getting meat rabbits, doing meat rabbits. We would probably breed our buck. We would breed our buck because he is a bigger breed. The other one we have, they're more just as pets and for the kids to learn off of. And they provide the fertilizer for our garden because rabbit poop is garden gold. So we will not be butchering them ever. We love them. We will love all the rabbits, and it'll be rough, but we're thinking of doing that. We're thinking of doing meat rabbits. So we are doing more research, spending more time and working with the ones that we have and building skills with them. So that's been taking up time, but it's building more skills and a lot of knowledge, and that's a win. The other bit of homestead learning that we have been doing is working with our bees. In another video, watch that right there, I talked about the fact that we just got bees, and there were some complications with getting them. In fact, there are no more bees, but it has been a hugely educational experience, and especially Caleb has learned so much. He has been right alongside me learning everything he can possibly learn, watching videos. He wants me to read the books aloud to him. He wants to get in there and see the difference between the different types of comb and find an occasional dead bee, and the differences between honey and nectar and pollen and just all these different things. I mean, it is a wealth of knowledge. There's like endless learning with bees, and I'm not running out of things to teach him or learn about myself. So that has been something we've been putting a lot of time into. Count that as a win. I guess we can count that as something he's hyper-focusing on right now because it's all about the bees right now, which is okay with me. I guess I'm hyper-focused too. So that brings me into November goals. Because we have been so busy with our homestead stuff, we have not, well, I have not been doing a good job with the planning. A lot of this curriculum, like pretty much all of it, is open and go, which is great for when, you know, you're busy and you have a lot of things going on and you really don't have time to spend hours on end planning, or you just don't want to. Open and go is great for that, but there are some things that I want to put more planning into because winter has decided it's going to come early this year. There's about 3 to 4 inches of snow on the ground right now, and by next week we're gonna be at 29 degrees. I definitely want to use that to my advantage though, and do some more things inside and do a lot more multisensory learning. And I can get more into that in another video. If you guys are interested in how we do multisensory learning, let me know if you want me to do a video on that, because I would love to do that for you guys. I think I might do it anyway, but let me know if you're interested. But multisensory learning takes a lot more planning, especially when you've got different kinds of kiddos dealing with different types of things and just have different types of interests. But that is a much bigger time commitment. So what I'm going to start doing is getting back to my Sunday evenings. I sit down and I plan. I did that, I don't know, forever I've done that, and I got out of it. I don't even know when I stopped doing it, to tell you the truth, but I stopped doing it. Every Sunday I would sit down, Sunday night, kids are in bed, my husband and I would turn on something on TV and just lounge around, and I would get my planner stuff out and get myself organized for the week. It was a great habit to be in. Somehow I broke that habit, and I need to get that back because, like I said, extra planning, multisensory learning takes a lot of planning, and I really want to be a little bit better with my time management when it comes to juggling different grades. Everything that's been going on with high school stuff, with high school homeschooling, we're smoothing out the bumps. The daily mom meetings are going much better. We're doing better with planning. We're still working on building executive functioning, and I've realized in my executive functioning, not so great either. So we're gonna build it together. The one really fun thing that we are all super excited to start working on this month, and yes, this is totally a homeschool thing, we are gonna start demolition on our camper. We are going to draw out some blueprints. I'm gonna have my son do some research into how blueprints work. We're gonna study electrical systems for campers. We are going to very carefully start demolition in that camper. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch that. I don't quite know how I'm gonna include that on his transcripts yet. Maybe just a woodworking elective. I'll probably do that. That's probably what I'll do. There's so much more to it than that though, because he's gonna be learning about electricity, air conditioning and heating. There's so much that he's gonna learn from that, and it's great. I just don't quite know how I'm going to give credit for it, but he's definitely gonna get a lot of credit for it. And my last goal, like I said, the morning board. Maybe it'll come to me in a dream. I don't know. So that is everything. October wins, October fails, November goals. What are your goals? Tell me your November goals in the comments below, and we will do this again in December. So if you guys want to hear how everything goes for this month and see what the goals are gonna be for December, if you wanna join our little community in the comments, I wanna invite you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and what that does is notify you when a new video comes out, and you can choose to watch that. So if you haven't done that, make sure you do, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.